So, a lot of you may have watched my Crystal vs Aurora Wings video from way back in 2020, or my Hollow Wings video from that same year. In those videos, I hadn't really used the perks I was talking about all that much. So, I've decided to revisit these free perks and give a more objective review of each of them, although this video will still be heavily opinionated. Let's begin. Of course, I'll be starting the rankings off with the Crystal Wings. Their stats are as follows. They have the fastest gliding speed and an average jump height. They have an average falling speed, and whenever you get hit, you'll take 10 damage, and you won't be able to use your wings again for 25 seconds. The Crystal Wings are the most popular out of the free wings because of their great balance of mobility and forgiveness, along with being the most accessible out of the free and just being plain reliable. You can't really go wrong with the Crystal Wings, but other than the speed, they're quite basic. Since this is likely to be a lot of people's first one of the wings, I feel like I should mention that although the speed can be an upside, if you're not careful, they can end up being a detriment to your survival. Also, although the fall speed will feel nice at first, after a while it feels like you're making trips back to the ground every 2 seconds. Here's a list of my pros, cons, and the verdict. The Aurora Wings are about high risk and high reward. They have an average gliding speed and the highest jump height out of any of the wings. They have the slowest falling speed, maybe about the speed of a Mega Nuke. And whenever you get hit, you'll take 20 damage, get frozen in ice, and your wings will go on cooldown for 25 seconds. Due to the punishing nature of the Aurora Wings, people tend to stop using them after just a few rounds or write them off as a downgrade from Crystal. But I believe if you're able to avoid damage and stay out of danger, they're actually just as good, if not a bit better than the Crystal Wings. However, despite my praises, I still have to bring up their harsh downsides. For example, if you were to get hit in a poison cloud, you could take some serious damage or even straight up die because of how much damage they can do sometimes. Also, when you're frozen, you're vulnerable to people using offense skills or wing seekers and other types of missiles. If you're new to the game and want to use the Aurora Wings, it might be worth bringing something like Force Field or Heal just in case. Here's a list of the pros, the cons, and my verdict. Last up is the Hollow Wings. These are exclusive to the Halloween shop, which only appears in October, and they cost 660 candies, or 660 gems if you're rich. Here are the stats. They have an average gliding speed and a pretty low jump height. They have an average falling speed, and whenever you get hit, you'll take 5 damage and your wings will go on cooldown for 17 seconds. They're also good for people who use offense skills like Caltrops or Smack, yuck, because they're lower to the ground, and if you end up taking a hit yourself, you can recover easily, allowing you to focus more on ruining a random hardcore player's day for no reason at all. However, the lower damage on hit and lesser cooldown don't really feel like they're worth the lowered mobility in my opinion, and they feel more like a crutch than anything else. They look pretty cool though. Kill Diver version of these are just a reskin of Crystal or Aurora. Here's the list of the pros, cons, and my final verdict. Now that I've covered every last one of the wings, it's finally time to begin actually ranking them. The Hollow Wings get last place because of their downside of less mobility with their lackluster upside of being less punishing, and being pretty bad for how hard they are to obtain. Their score is a 4 out of 7. The Aurora Wings come in second place because of their great mobility but harsh downsides and high price. I give these a solid 6 out of 7. Last but not least, the Crystal Wings come in first place because of how well balanced they are, along with being the most accessible out of the three. They've earned a score of a 6.5 out of 7. Now you may be wondering, why make this video if it was only going to be 5 minutes and you were going to put them in the same ranks as last time anyways? Well, this is because of a few reasons. First, I wanted to see how a video where I use my filthy voice would turn out. Also, because I felt like I was too harsh on Aurora and too soft on Hollow in my first videos and wanted to give a more objective review of each of them. If you made it this far, make sure to leave a comment telling me if you prefer this voice format or if you want me to go back to using text. I got nothing else to say, so see you all next time.